You probably should be in there. There we go. Folks, welcome back to Soaring Profits. Tonight, we're taking a little different angle on things, trying to keep things short and sweet for you folks. What we're doing tonight is we are going to take a quick look at the Ontario real estate market and what the hell is going on. What are we seeing? What's happening in the area? So what we have here, we're going to pull up. This is a program called House Sigma. It is a very cool web-based housing price for lease and for sale website. So James, give me a town, give me a community. Let's just like random off the top of our heads.
Let's go with Kingston. I like Kingston. It's a nice place to be. A lot of great museums. The fort's there.
The fort. Wow, all the important things. Okay. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick gander at the Kingston market here. So what we do is, as you can see here, there's a lot of information that you can put in here. There's filters, certain watched areas. But what I'm trying to look at here is I want to see information in regards to probably 180 days on sold and the for sale actives. Okay. So we're going to pick a community. We're just going to pick an area of the town, and we're going to see where we are in regards to asking prices and sold prices. So I'm looking here right now. This is the university area. So this is right downtown Kingston, right?
So probably a lot of rental properties, stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's a, like you can see here where you're like 730,000, 710, 6, 840,000, 650,000, 620,000, right? Like these are normal areas. Like we can come out here a little bit to more of the burbs, and we can come out, let's go this way, I think actually. Like you got 1.7 on the water.
Right. Yeah. A little bit more expensive properties out that way.
Right. Right. Yeah. So when you get into some of these areas. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to back up. I'm used to using this once again on my laptop or my iPad, right? So we're down to this area here, and we're going to pick Earl Street. Okay. So we've got a couple $1 million properties here. So you can tell what we're talking about. So here's one property here. 6-bedroom, 2-bath. Bring it up.
Well, that's an unusual price drop, eh?
Right. So you had it 1.15 listed, sold in April. So this here looks like a multifamily.
Yeah.
Oh, single family residence. I'm guessing they're using this as a rental for students, right?
They must. 6-bedroom. Yeah.
So this 8-bedroom home sits on a quiet street just short of walking distance of Queen University. Schools, hospitals downtown. There's no shortage of space for this 9-year-old brick home with 2 living rooms, 2 kitchens. So this is really a duplex, folks, right?
Yeah.
This is a duplex. This, especially in Kingston with, college and university town, same kind of thing as, the Peterborough area, a number of different markets out there. You have opportunities for student type rentals. So this one very apparently was a very purpose-built home back in 2013 for students. So I'm going to pull back off of that one because I don't think it's a realistic, a very fair, we'll call it, assessment. So let's go back over here. I'm trying to find some single families because I think that's going to be.
So what I've been noticing in Peterborough while you're looking for the right house is that there are a lot of for sale signs, not many sold signs anymore. And for a while, like even 2-3 months ago, you maybe had a week and they were sold, and they were all sold over asking.
Yeah. So here we are now. So here's a place here. Asking was $665, sold $685, and sold in May. Okay.
Yes.
I would argue that is the height of the market.
That is when it was like just before I think it dropped. Personally, that's what I think.
So now let's go the last 30 days. So this is when we have seen the most pain. Okay. These are all the homes that have sold in Kingston. Kingston, what's the population of Kingston?
Good question. I don't know.
Hang on.
I can look it up. Well, you keep going.
I got this.
Yeah, so in Peterborough, not only are they not selling, they're not. I've heard a couple of people who are like, I'm just going to take it right off the market and put it into rental because I'm not even going to get close to my asking price. And on things like Facebook and all the like radio is all of these realtors are like, oh, I can sell your house. I got this. I got you. Because I think they're struggling selling houses now. So they're trying to drum up business. Whereas before they had all kinds of business. They didn't have to look at all. There were no realtor commercials.
Well, so here's a great example of exactly what we're talking about here, James. So here is a property, 16 days on market. That was pretty extended over the last 2 years. If you had something 16 days on market, sold for 550, asking initial was 600,000.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I need a sneeze button.
Yeah.
We've got a $600,000 house that is now going 50,000 under asking. Okay. That's a 10% reduction in price.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about that. That house year over year probably would have went $600,000 easily. Okay. Let's take a gander at it. You know, nothing special. 4 bed, 2 bath. It was for lease for $2,900. You can do a very quick calculation on what that house is worth at a $2,900 rental, right? That, you know, we're going to call that $3,000. That's going to give you about a 4.5, 5 cap on your capitalization rate.
Right.
Your taxes are $3,800 on that $600,000 house, and they'll just go up, right? Your taxes are on the wrong side of this. So this property here, 50,000 under asking. Let's take a look at the next one here, 7.9. So 850 got 790. Yeah. This one sold in 14 days, and it sold. Let's see what we got here. 14 days.
That's a fairly nice place.
But this date of start was 6/24. It ends at 08/17. Okay, so you're 14 days on market. Taxes of $6,100. Holy shit, they almost pay as much as I pay for taxes.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
So at 1983, 70 by 100, 2-car garage. But what you're doing is you're seeing that this is switching now from the seller's market to having buyer's opportunities, right?
Yeah. So let me just stop you for a brief second, because you and I already talked about this. What does that mean for my home?
Well, okay, so you know, what kind of numbers? Throw me a number out of what your house is worth.
Well, I'd say like 6 months ago is probably 600,000 to 700,000. Let's say that.
So at $600,000 or $700,000 on your property, okay?
Yeah.
You were in a situation where you were watching your neighbors get 7.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm arguing, like I'm stating now, that we've seen a 20% reduction in peak housing. Okay. So 700,000 at 20%. What's the exact number there? I don't want to look foolish. So
a lot.
You're seeing 140. I wanted to guarantee that my numbers are right. Yeah. You're going to be in about that 560 range.
Right.
So $560,000 2 years ago, pre-COVID, that was about where you were.
That is right. Right. You're absolutely right. That's where my house was. That's like, because I was looking into taking money from my house. So what would have happened like 3 months ago, say I went to the bank and then they came in and said, oh, your house is worth 700,000. And I went, great. I'm going to take the rest of my equity. I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to use that. What would happen to my house though? Because
so this is the thing. This is where you have to, I'm an advocate for that, but you have to know where to put your money. So if right. your rates, so now you're talking about an interest rates escalation that's gone up from, 2.5, 2 3/4 to 6, right? Round numbers, call it 6, 6.5 if your credit isn't sparkling. Right. Now you have to be able to arbitrage the difference in what you've borrowed. Let's say you took your house at $700,000. Your debt to income on $700,000, right? Hang on. You could max out your borrowing at $560,000, right?
Right. You can only take 80%.
Sorry?
Right. You can only take 80% of the full cost of the house.
80% of the full appraised value, APV, right? So you take that, okay? Yeah. If you're going to put that in the bank, and remember we talked about in one of our other videos earlier today about inflation.
Yeah.
Okay. you're going to have a payment of $560,000. Your mortgage before was $100 and something thousand, right?
Yeah.
You're now going to have a new mortgage payment. See how the bank wants you on this roller coaster? You're going to have a new mortgage payment of 6% of 560. And if you can't arbitrage a return higher than your 6%, you're upside down in the deal.
Yes.
So whether you take that money and you put it into another real estate deal while the market rolls, right? Or if you're taking that money and you're putting it into the stock market, what the fuck has been good in the stock market in the last 6 months? It's been there, right? Yeah. So where you are right now is you're in a position where you end up cash rich, waiting for opportunities. And that's kind of where I'm finding myself in my situation. I'm looking for opportunities right now. I've got a ton of fucking cash waiting to pull the trigger and try to find a deal. Now, what I think is going to happen, I think we haven't started to feel the pain yet. So where we are right now is we're at about a 20% pullback in the market, where we would have been kind of pre-COVID, right? Where we are. Let's call it $600,000. So you made 40 grand in 2 years. Great. That's great. Cool. Yeah. So what's next? When people go and they start refinancing, the reason why COVID went crazy with real estate is there was no supply. The demand is always there, but there was no supply. People weren't letting in the house. I'm not selling my house. We don't know if the world's ending tomorrow and zombies are going to eat our larynx. We're not selling the house.
Yeah.
So
and you're not making any big moves or anything.
Not doing fuck all. The world stopped, right? So now you get a situation where it's like, no, we're all going to live, right? There's a few of us that were maybe saying that the whole time, but what the fuck did we know?
Yeah.
So long story short, now you've got to start making business decisions. And if your business decisions revolve around, I cannot afford, because I've got the brand new truck in the driveway, I got the brand new boat in the driveway, the Sea-Doo, the four-wheeler, all this sort of thing, that are all payments. I can't afford to refinance to cover an increase from 3.5% up to 6.25%, 7%, because new threshold, right? They're going to be qualifying. The banks are going to be qualifying buyers higher, because we're past what their threshold was for qualification 2 years ago.
Totally. Yeah.
These fuckers, what they're doing to people is criminal, and there's no need for it.
Yeah. So 2 years ago, before COVID, I went into the bank and they had to pre-approve me for a 4% increase hike, which isn't where we're at. We're above that now, I believe.
Right.
Like, are we at 5 now?
Oh, if you're going and walking in off the street, well, here. Yeah. We'll go to Rate Hub.
Mm-hmm. So they qualified for me, and they gave me like, okay, you can borrow this much money based upon your income and all the stuff that you know, your rentals and all that stuff. And it just didn't make sense. I talked to you about it, and you were like, yeah, that's not feasible at this time. Let's wait. Let's sit on it. And then COVID hit, and I've been sitting on it for a long time.
Yeah.
But right now, with all this stuff coming, like, if you just bought $1 million home that all of a sudden becomes a $700,000 home, what do you do with that? Your interest rate, like, you're going to pay a double pay, like 7% on your mortgage now will increase it to maybe possibly a level that you can't afford, especially if you went in and bought the truck, the SUV, and all that stuff, right? So that means that you're going to have to go sell your house, or maybe, unfortunately, if that, you know, something terrible happens, you have to, you know, the bank sells your house.
Yep.
Well, the bank's not going to be able to sell it for what you bought it for.
Well, and so what you have now is you get a risk off of the banks. So the banks get into a situation where they go, you're a potential problem lender. We're not going to allow you to take anything past 25-year term. And we're going to eliminate your 20%. Like right now, you can do 5%, CMHC loans, all that sort of thing. Maybe they say, hey, you know, we're going to ask for 10, right? And you go, well, fuck, why would I have to do that? And they go, well, we have the money. If you want to buy the house, this is what we're requesting. Right. Well, when they start leveraging up and de-risking, what you do is you crush the market more, right? The less amount of people that qualify for your house, the less your house is worth. Right. Now you have more supply than there is demand. Like, right, this is where we were last year. No houses, all the demand. I'll give you my child.
Exactly what was that? People were writing letters, like friends of mine were writing these heartfelt letters that, I just need a home. I have 4 kids and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, that's awful.
Well, I was in on a deal. You and I have talked about this deal before.
Yeah.
I was in on a deal in a student rental property here 4 months ago, and it was 300. They were asking $399 for it. Obviously, that they were trying to elicit a bidding war. I went in and said, "This is the value that it is for me." I went 50,000 over asking, and the gentleman that ended up buying it paid $200,000 over asking. Now, in that situation, everybody and their brother at the time was saying to do variable rate mortgages because, this is where we're at right now. Variable rate was
Right.
the hot button item at the time. And he now, like I've seen it advertised in the area here for $3,200 for a student rental. It's a shithole. Like $3,200. This guy is so fucked in this deal. He'll never get that. He's going to be upside down thousands of dollars a month, each and every month. Because the deal was dumb.
And $3,200 is just unrealistic.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a student rental. $3,200.
No.
So it was a 4-bedroom house. Like it wasn't even like it was, a 6, 7, 8, 9-bedroom house. To get that done. So anyways, where we are right now with this, folks, is that there is going to be opportunities come up. I'm in a situation right now myself personally where I'm very cash heavy. And I'm waiting for those opportunities. I've talked before whether I stay in Canada or whether I end up going down to the States. I personally think that the arbitrage between the American and Canadian dollar is a deal that I want to make. So my deal is trying to find below value, or what we call wedge deals down in the States. So the median household price in the United States is about $400,000. What I want to do is I want to find houses in around the $300,000, $320,000 that are what you would call basemented already, right? They're not New York State. They're not in California. They're not in Florida vacation areas. They're normal, everyday mom and pop, paying the bills, family homes. Okay. So what you have there is that the average. So if like an average, the fuck, you guys know what averages are. This is not rocket science. If you have an average, you have higher than average homes. They can fall to the average. If you have an average or below average homes, they're buffered.
Right.
Right. The downside is capped. Now, you don't get the explosive upside usually in those markets. You might see that 3, 4, 5% growth every year, year on year, keep rolling from that. But with real estate, you get the appreciation pay down. So this is your mortgage debt pays down, the price of the property. And that's where you can take a small investment of, say, $100,000, buy a $500,000 property, or in what I'm saying, that $300,000, you're buying it for, well, what's 26. I'm not good at this.
Are you 20% of 3,000? Is that 300,000? It would be 60,000.
Right. That was what I was trying. That was the number I had in mind. Then I couldn't do it. 60,000. So $60,000 could buy you, like in my situation, I could buy 10 houses with the cash I have on hand right now.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I can buy 10 houses that's generating me a wealth of 5% a year plus capital depreciation, tax incentives, all of that sort of thing. And I'm 36 years old. Like I get to wait 30 years from the payoff.
Yeah.
So as they appreciate in value, as the mortgage gets paid off by the tenants, this is the arbitrage in between, this gapping. And that's where you make a fuck ton of money.
Yes.
Right. If you're trying to get a 15 or 20% return every year, that's hard. Right. Yeah. But you're in a situation where you can go in and just keep Tim and Sally working and they keep paying their bills. There's a lot of money we made.
Well, I think that's fantastic. We're at that time. We're overtime, actually.
Yeah, we are way over.
But I would like sometime soon, you and I are going to sit down and we're going to talk about Halifax, because I got this idea of maybe buying a place for my kid and rental property and stuff like that. Let's work through it. Let's see if we can show the profiteers how to do something like that. Because I know right now, like I said in a prior podcast, right now parents are dropping their kids off at school. And I often wish that when I first dropped my kids off at school, I was able to buy them a house, move them in, and then make a rental business for them, and have the house pay itself off. And I think we should explore that. So look forward to that in the future. On Thursday, which is yesterday, we had the wonderful Janelle. It's going to be, it's an amazing podcast. Check it out. It's Soaring Profits Live Thursday nights. Every Thursday night we have a live at 9 p.m. So come check us out at 9 p.m. And you know what? Pat, you're a wealth of information. Thank you so much for sharing. I learn something every time you speak. Let's heal our minds, bodies, and souls together, profiteers.
As always, folks, let's make some money together, and we're going to send